Hello, my name is Stephen Kohler. A lot of you probably not remember that name, so just think of the plumbing company. What I'm going to talk about is an issue that a lot of people don't realize it's an issue. It has many names. The social norm, the trend, so many different names, but they are all the same thing. And for a lot of people it's overwhelming because some people treat it like it's a stereotype, but you have to go to that stereotype. An example of this is religion. Some people get mad at other people for not believing their religion or not believing any religion. Politics is also very similar. Some politicians get mad at the other party for being a different party. And personality is pretty similar too. People get angry at people for being pessimists or introverts or different types of personality just because, well, that's not the desirable trait. Another example of this is the bystander effect. Basically, it means that when you're around people, it makes you want to do what they're doing. There was an experiment where there was an actor in the street, and he would lay down and pretend he needed help. He would yell, "Help, help, help me." And it took 45 minutes for someone to help him. And then there's this lady who really walks right past her, looks at him, she only comes back to help him when someone else asks. And there was also another experiment. There would be like health inspectors, but there's 3 people, 2 of which were on an experiment. They would change it up with 2 people would say it as an issue or a not significant issue. They found that 75% of people would say that as an issue if the other people said it was an issue, but only 10% of people signed it as an issue if other people didn't sign it as an issue. Another example, emotions. We label emotion as good and bad, but there's no really such thing as a good and a bad emotion. It's just you don't want too much of any emotion. Like, if you're happy all the time, basically, you might as well be stabbed in the heart and just be laughing that you're getting stabbed. And I think that's not really a good thing. And then there's some negative emotions, which a less known example of this is hatred. The exact definition of hatred is rejection. And we need to reject things at some times. Like, do you really want to do drugs? I don't think so. And then there's sometimes where certain emotions lead to other bad emotions. Example of this is the injustice storyline. A lot of you probably don't understand what it is, so I'm just going to simplify the plot. It's a DC comic where the story is that Superman got tricked into killing Lois Lane and destroying the Metropolis. Became incredibly angry and became a dictator and took away everyone's free will because he thought if they had free will, they would do evil things. And the worst part about this, most people feel pressured by the social norm because there's a stigma around counseling. If you get counseling, well, you're a bad person, you're insane. So people don't do it. And then there's technical mental diseases that aren't really mental diseases. Example of this is autism. It's known that people with autism have a hard time interacting, but they're known to be more creative. A less known example of this is DID, dissociative identity disorder. It's when you have multiple personalities. And for people who have it, they feel like they couldn't have it any other way. In conclusion, a lot of you may not agree with me, and that's fine. I'm just asking you not to get mad at people for being different religion, different political party, or having a different opinion or a different personality. If you're a pessimist or an introvert or an atheist, that's okay. We can still all get along.